Starfield is a matter of days away, and I thought I'd take this time to have an open discussion on kind of our thoughts and our anticipations for the game, and also kind of just ask the general question of, did you buy the early access? Are you looking forward to it? Are you excited, or can you just not be bothered? I personally decided not to buy the additional £30 early access, well, 5 days early access, because I got to the point where I was like, it's almost going to be £100 for the game, and I just sort of can't justify that, especially considering you don't actually get that much with the pre-order bonus. I think the main thing is that you get the 5 days early, and you get basically a token for the not announced DLC, so it's like a pre-release for a pre-release, which is kind of interesting. But I think going to like looking directly now at like what's been offered so far for the game, like it looks great. Like no one I think can argue the fact that it does look good, and I think more so to that, there's definitely an element of, you know, if this is done right, like it could be fantastic. I think playing games like No Man's Sky and, you know, to be honest, I haven't really played a lot of space exploration games. Some of them I find that are a little bit, that sometimes it's a tricky one, space games, because it's like, well, what do you want? Do you want to just blast around in ships and just attack each other? You know, because there's games for that, there's real-time strategies for that, but then there's like an element of, well, in a way, I kind of want to create myself and explore a galaxy and universe, or however far that this game's going to reach. And most of the time, I fall into that kind of category of, well, I kind of want to be a version of myself and explore these with my own spaceship and, you know, kind of build a base somewhere on some planet. And I think that's kind of what you can do on No Man's Sky, and I think this game will be heavily just, you know, what does it do against No Man's Sky, what does it do against No Man's Sky, until, you know, eventually people realise, well, they are separate. I think the biggest problem that I notice with Starfield, and it's kind of a problem I think that all Bethesda games have, is that, well, one, the RPG elements are usually very linear. It's like neutral, good, bad, that's it. There's no kind of blurred lines, and I think recent pop culture kind of does prefer blurred lines, doesn't always want you to have a dedicated, you know, good and bad choice. And I think the second issue is that the combat looks very, I'd like to say like old school FPS. It doesn't look that exciting, but then again, a lot of FPS games don't look that exciting these days. Like, there's a gun on screen, first person, just press trigger, that's it. Oh, do you want to go close and batter it? Yeah, okay, go. That's it. Like, there's no, and I feel like this is where it's a good time to sort of bring in Cyberpunk as an alternative, because yes, granted, Cyberpunk had its problems, but at the same time, there was a different way to play that game, you know, with the whole hacking and sort of, you know, netrunner kind of, you know, path. And fingers crossed we would be able to have like a charismatic build as well. I think that's definitely something that I do like about Fallout games in particular, is that sometimes it's nice to be able to build a character that doesn't really play just guns blazing. You could, if you know you stack it correctly, have a character that barely fires a trigger. So hopefully we could even build a character that is a pure diplomat and can kind of just say, well, you know, I've got resources there, let's map them up, and if I join with this group or clan or gang, I can pull in more resources of this type, and maybe just sort of sit back and let it happen. I mean, that is kind of what people do like to do in games like No Man's Sky and other space exploration sandbox games. So it would be cool if Starfield did incorporate that. And I know there has been a comment, I think last week in the Gamescom build-up, that Todd Howard did say that you will be able to essentially say, right, resources on this planet, ship to this planet where I'm building. Hopefully that would be quite fun. I think there's definitely concerns for Starfield. Like, you know, if it's done right, it'll be fantastic, but Bethesda do set us up to fail quite a lot. So, you know, like, I can still remember comments from Skyrim about how, like, through the story, like, certain economies would do better than others if you chose, like, the Stormcloaks, or if you went with the Imperial. So, like, essentially on the sort of east side of the map, if you were doing loads of Stormcloak stuff, they should be booming, because they're getting, you know, money from all their raids and fights and wins, essentially. And then on the west side, it would be a bit of a lesser economy. But that didn't happen. It was just, oh, they have X amount of coins and that's that. I still remember stuff like that from like the Skyrim E3 game trailer, which probably still has like so many million views. But yeah, I think that's kind of my sort of thoughts on it. Like, I am looking forward to it. I'm not buying it. I'm not getting early access. I am gonna probably watch a couple of streams of like the first maybe chapter and sort of see how, you know, like people, like especially people that I follow myself, and I sort of trust their judgment, and that's one of the reasons I follow them. And then from that, I'm probably gonna call a quit and say, right, that's enough now, and then I'll get it and hopefully try and play it as early as I can on the Wednesday. So yeah, I am excited for Starfield. I am a little bit anxious as well, just to see how it's going to play on day one. I think that's kind of one of the other reasons why I decided not to get the 5-day early access. Just in case like it does come out and it's, you know, Fallout 76 all over again. So with that saying, that's going to be it for this video. However, as a short kind of final note, I just wanted to sort of say that this is sort of my first attempt of me not scripting a talk over video, so it probably isn't going to be the best, but it's just something I'm trying to work on a little bit more and get a bit more confident at just talking and, you know, making content a little bit more quicker. I do find that I do enjoy doing it, and I do enjoy doing the voiceovers actually, but I am a little bit slow about it, and that's my only problem. So I decided with this one I'm just going to hit record and just go for it. So hopefully it wasn't too bad and you was able to enjoy it to some degree. But apart from that, that will be all from me, and I hope you have a great day.